Um, I may have a way to optimize a lot of the future stuff to, I don't know, like moving a Faith tier 7 not crash a server for once. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that'd be
I hear people want
That'd be
that.
nice.
that'd be
Weird.
really nice.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
I don't see. This is what people keep telling me. I don't get it. I love making a tier 7 Faith, crashing a server, and not being able to play anymore. I don't.
I know,
I
right?
can't
It's-
fathom
Yeah,
what
it's
these
just the
people are
best.
thinking.
That's a core gameplay like pillar of like.
Oh, well, I don't know about you, but that'd just be a minor inconvenience to me. Just a minor one.
Just a minor.
A little bit.
Um,
The whole host is burning down. Ow, it's nothing. Don't worry about
Honestly,
it.
have you seen Reddit on a Friday?
Okay,
Nothing.
that's fair. That's fair. I can't argue that.
so here's a question.
honestly
Did you,
Reddit
guys,
any day.
did you guys see the? How many of you guys watch Markiplier?
I've watched mostly like one set of his videos, which was just the one where he's trying, and emphasis on trying, to play I Am Bread. That's the only one I've seen.
Don't watch it that much anymore.
He has actually gone ahead and he created a Discord specifically to see if he could crash Discord. He got like a couple 100,000 people. It was just like crash.
Me.
It was like done. And then because he yeah, it worked. He crashed Discord for a while. He went ahead and he has like several voice chats of just like only like 10 people are allowed to join this one. He created one where everybody can join. And
Oh,
it was
boy.
just white noise. It was
Oh boy.
Terrifying.
EXE.
yeah, it was just terrifying.
Sounds terrifying.
Yeah, he called it his screaming
That's-
channel, and just people were screaming and talking. And it's-
That's the definition of too much power.
right?
Like,
No,
Hello,
that's
Miss
something
Moth.
that I would only think to do in my worst nightmare. Like, what can I do to screw somebody's day up today? Oh, let's get 100,000 people to scream in one channel for fun. And then they would.
Pretty much. You Hex would like to join. I thought that he was. Is he not a dev anymore? Did we kick him out?
He stepped down
Yeah, he stepped
because of school.
I think so.
Or something?
Do we want to invite him? He's asking for an invite.
Up to you, boss.
Hey,
so,
just here to
question.
watch TV and drink coffee.
Sure, I'll allow him in.
I'm sitting on the customize idea with default plugins and all that page. What should I? Is there anything I should change from the defaults?
Okay, so for
no.
the
So I'm
Intelligent.
setting up intelligent. So I've never used this thing before. I always use Eclipse prior to this.
The
Okay.
only thing I'm running on IntelliJ is a statistics plugin so that I can see some of the data for like the infographics and whatever. I don't use anything. I don't think anyone else uses
No,
anything.
I'm pretty
So
much
I don't need
default
like
as well.
Maven or
Yeah,
Gradle
dude.
Oh
or-
yeah. Technically, you will need
Those
Maven,
should
but
be
that'll
with
be that should be automatically with it.
Okay, so just default stuff then.
Yeah.
I made it.
Hello.
Hey.
It's Vim editor.
Okay.
Oh, that's what I forgot to install was Vim.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Man, you purist.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the 1980s. Are you saying something?
Pretty much.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
At least I don't use Emacs, okay? At least I'm a decent human being.
Are you though?
No, that just means you don't want arthritis.
Okay, you are ready for
Although,
Vim. I don't
you
want to
know.
hear it.
Okay. At least we're not still on DOS. Okay. Just saying.
Yeah.
DOS
Okay,
is
but
even
no,
better
hold
though.
on. I had to write a program for DOS 6 months ago.
Oh, you poor human
Uh,
being.
No, it was actually a lot of fun
Yeah.
because I like using
But
COBOL.
why?
So swapping back to that was not that bad at all. So the training officer at the sheriff's office that I teach at, she has an old computer that runs on DOS, and she just wanted to use that one as your training records. So she's like, "Hey, you do computer stuff. What, do you know this?" I was like, "Yeah, I've done all sorts of different languages. What do you need?" She said, "Okay, I need a training program written for DOS so that I can track my people's hours." Okay.
Oh
Step one, upgrade from DOS. There we go.
Right.
So it was either that or she'd have to upgrade to Windows 10, and she didn't want to do that. She was still running
Yeah.
XP. It's a sheriff's office. Do you really think they have anything new?
Let's be
Yeah,
fair.
I mean,
Let's be fair.
I don't know how to
My
feel about that.
Walmart
The sheriff's
still.
office was using XP, like the least freaking secure system of all
Yeah, my
time.
Walmart still runs XP.
The least.
Like-
Are you trying to imply that DOS is more secure than XP?
Have
Can we
you
all
been
disagree?
Talk
to
about
any
That's just a little bit
Otherwise,
old.
it's
Just a
Windows
little
XP
bit
is a
old.
little bit more secure than that, but still, it's pretty
Have you been
bad.
if you've been to any school in the UK, none of you know what security issues are. Oh my god. Students have been hacking the server IT rooms almost every day. It's great.
That's
I want to
because-
move up there now, just so I can join in the fun.
Yeah, honestly.
So
Okay,
I'm sitting
so-
here. So
So
I have all these hacking skills and nothing to do with them because I literally developed them since my parents were always engaging in cyber warfare with me over like, oh, I
Cyber
put this family
warfare?
safety program on here, or I'll change the Netflix password
Oh,
so he doesn't know
no.
it, or like, so I've got all these hacking skills, like I can decode password hashes and everything, but I have nothing to do with them because at most I'm a gray hat, so it's like I'm just sitting here with nothing to do.
Okay,
What
so-
you could do is go find a company that offers bounties, hack into their system, then they pay you to tell them how you did it. So
Yeah,
not
maybe.
only do you get to play with your skills, you get to make fat stacks of cash, and then you're known as, "Hey,
Yes.
that guy broke into the bank and didn't go to prison." Ah.
okay, so
See, now I'm gonna have to actually go look for that, see if I can pull that off.
so
Yeah,
let's
I
go
actually
ahead.
read it.
Let's go ahead and actually get on task, guys.
Yeah, probably should.
Probably
Develop
should.
it on
16
task.
minutes late.
Right?
Never.
Okay, so
We're programmers, we're paid to be ADD about it.
so who here of the developing developers who here needs help with setting up IntelliJ with the Runecraft repository?
I kind of do,
I would
but
love
like
some
there's two very hyper kids in my room, so now I'm downstairs,
Okay.
and I've been exiled to the downstairs.
Yeah.
Tell the hyper children that if they don't leave the room, you're going to string them up by their intestines. There you go. Problem solved.
That's
Let me try that.
That's a bit excessive, I'd
bad
say.
idea.
That,
Not
that, should,
excessive enough.
that should work.
I mean, I could have gotten way more excessive than that. You have no idea.
So-
If you want me to help you set that up later,
Don't be
then
afraid if you
let me
hear like
know.
screaming voices.
Yeah, Husky. Well, because we're gonna be describing it here in level 80, I can go ahead and when I post the video, I'll get a actual timestamp, and we can just send the timestamp of when of how to set this up.
You're a smart thinker.
Thank you.
I told you, you're here to be
I
smart.
am
I'm
on
here to look
direct voice
pretty.
chat. Okay, keep
You're,
quiet.
So,
You're
Hi,
at
sorry.
least making progress.
so Blackjack.
Yeah.
Anybody else who needs help with getting this up?
I'm
I've
going
got
to check the way
IntelliJ. I
there.
don't know what to do with it.
Okay. So, you guys checked out the pinned messages, yes? You guys got your email. You guys have your account set up and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
That
there's
is
a
correct.
message.
IntelliJ should be open in around 15 minutes.
Large deposit made.
No, there's a pinned message with Runecraft Rundown up at the very, very top, like way ahead.
Yeah, that should have most of the things you need to get started.
Pretty much,
I
yeah.
don't think I asked too many other questions outside of what was already on there.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and get you set up with
Wait a minute.
that.
Which email would it have gone to?
Basically, did you send an email to level 80?
I don't
Okay,
know.
I think IntelliJ opened.
That's a good
Okay.
question.
Those of you who are not sure, send a valid email to level 80. Once you have a valid
valid
email sent to level 80, any email, he will put you into the system. You guys will get an email from GitLab GitLab at either.radical.industries, and we'll get you set up with your account.
Let's see.
Excuse me, I cough up a lung for no good reason whatsoever.
Perfectly fine.
Well, you got 2 of them, so why not?
All right, that's fair.
If
Still got
Oh,
one,
no.
yeah.
you're at it,
It
like,
started. The
like
laughing
me a
has
kidney
started
so I can sell
again.
it.
There we go. Sent email.
Okay. Now I'm only gonna send once a month, and I'll probably send you just random gifts every Thursday.
He means it.
I'd be disappointed if I
Cosine's
didn't
like
get
sitting
any.
here perpetually deleting everything. He's not kidding. They are all there.
I would actually not mind that.
Does anybody here actually have the environment set up already?
I do.
Of the developing developers? Of the developing developers?
Oh, of the developing
Why?
developers? I
Of course
believe
you
Miss
do.
Moth does. Yeah, Miss Moth does already have the environment set up. And hello, Hero.
I have 90% of it set up.
Alright.
I can pull things down, but beyond that, I'm not exactly
Um,
sure what I'm supposed to be doing.
Because
My
my
Yahoo, I
time,
don't want to verify my phone now. I'm busy.
my
Okay.
time's in kind of a bad situation right now, but for the people that do, if you want to get together sometime and like run through like adding something to Ringcraft, like working on a feature or something.
Yes. We'll,
I got a
we'll
few
be
things
running
in
through
mind.
all of that as best as we can today.
All right. I just don't know if I'll be there for that, so I was
Yeah,
going to get that out there.
that's not a problem. I've got, as I said, I've got a video.
Are you recording this?
Yes, I'm recording everything right now.
Hey, let me in! I guessed my password!
Great.
All right.
Don't worry, Hero. You're not actually on a video. Like it's specifically just audio.
Yeah, okay.
The environment hasn't changed since I was helping out. Then I have the environment as well.
It has actually. We are starting completely from scratch, Hero.
Then I do not have that environment.
Yeah. If you would like the environment, send a valid email to level 80. And he can get you set up with an account and everything, and you can see what's going on.
Okay, you'll help me set up later.
Okay.
Where is
Hero, you're very
the?
quiet. So.
Yeah.
Where's what?
What's the link to use to get there in the first place?
Either.radical.industries should work.
Oh, okay, that works.
You know how awesome it was that all worked out in the end? Because I originally set that up. I'm naming all of my servers off of Greek gods, basically. I've got Kronos, Ether, Gaia, Erebus, and a few others.
Yeah, that
You have no idea how
worked
much
out really.
I'm for that.
And then I slapped
Radical?
Ether as my Git server. And then it just so happens that we put Minecraft on it. When I'm thinking on that, sometimes I sit back and I'm like, you know, I really got to pat myself on the back. I'm a genius without realizing it.
Just premonitions.
Or, you
It's
know,
fine.
just an entire set
Is
of
that what it-
coincidences that just happened to work.
I gotta go buy a lottery ticket. I'll be right back.
So yes, level 80. You got everybody hooked up with an account then?
Let me double check. Blackjack Husky, me, Cosine, Moth, you. Who don't I have on here?
Courts.
Why aren't you on here? Didn't I add you? Or is this? Hold on. I'm looking at the. Oh, this is the wrong one. That's why.
Okay.
That makes a lot more sense. I was like, there was only 4 people on here. There should probably have been. Okay, I'm just dumb.
I don't
We
worry, I'm
just had
not
this
any better.
discussion about how I'm a genius. I am not. That was totally facetious. I'm actually probably the dumbest person in this channel.
False.
Do you want to bet?
That's me.
You guys
Oh,
are
No,
the
I'll
one
take the
who,
position of the dumbest
working as a
person.
cashier. Working as cashier, I swap my card with the chip on the machine I'm used to using, and then to remedy the situation, immediately put it in backwards.
Oh no!
I got y'all beat.
Friendly
How
reminder
often
that
do
I
you
once
choke
stood
on your
on
own
my shoes
spit?
asking where they were.
No, that's just absent-mindedness.
I had my keys in
Everyone
my
does that.
hand and then started looking around the whole house for it, so I was late.
Trust
Okay.
me, you
I've
would
done
be
that
shocked at how many
before.
times I've been looking for a particular Lego and just realized like an hour later I was holding it the whole time.
Okay, so level, how many people? You got everybody?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'm just gonna go down the list. Got Husky, Blackjack. Need to add.
I need my second screen.
So anyway, what I was gonna say, if any of you people ever feel like, I want to give a little disclaimer. As many of you know, I work in public service. I am very cynical and I'm very standoffish, and I'm also kind of a dick a lot of the time.
He's lying. He's
If you
cool,
ever
man.
feel that I'm like personally attacking you or anything like that, like when you send me a message, you say, hey, I haven't had this done, it's like, well, that's because you never told me to do this. Don't ever take it that I'm attacking you or anything. It's literally just that that's how I am. I'm very, everything is black and white to me. So don't ever feel upset or offended. And if there's ever a problem, you can come to me and say, hey, you're being kind of a dick, knock it off. Or go to Riv and say, hey, tell Jaden to stop being a dick. He needs to be a normal person for 5 minutes. And he'll usually rein me back in. So
So what I'm hearing here is that you need a safety word.
sometimes that doesn't even work.
I find the most common safety word for most situations is just a simple enough. So yeah.
That might work. Yeah.
So basically, we have to act like normal developers and get verbally abused on a daily basis.
Yes.
That's all I'm hearing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I have
that's
no
why I'm in
problem
this
with that.
group.
Same moth.
All right, how I do? I generate an SSH key. I can't freaking figure it out because it's
Okay.
like saying command prompt and it's just telling me it doesn't know that command.
So,
Do you have Git Bash installed? That's probably your
So.
best bet.
yeah.
Wait,
Use
you
that
can
one.
actually
You use
install
it
that
on
on Windows?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Windows 10 has a
Windows 10.
subsystem. Woo!
Oh, that's actually very
I have
useful.
Windows
I'm
7,
making,
guys.
a
I
lot
have
of use
Windows
of that.
7. I'm a few versions behind.
Get a good version of Windows. That's step one.
Yeah, it's not gonna work for you then.
Yep.
So
Strike one,
At
terrible
least,
version
at
of
least
Windows.
AD is the same.
there
You can
you
get
guys
virtual
go.
box.
You
Yeah.
guys can get
Riv's
that.
link works. Yeah, that'll work.
That
Virtual
link
boxes,
should
you're fine.
work in terms of getting Git Bash for Git source code and stuff and all that sort of stuff. Make
Hold
sure
on,
that
what
you
is it?
have the Java SDK as well, because you guys will need that.
Yeah.
Ignore
Bless
the
you.
random sneezing. It's bright.
Am I supposed to get anything else?
If you've got Git, you've got repo access, you've got an IDE, you should be fine.
Yeah, as
Man,
long
I
as
really
Java,
gotta learn how
Git,
to use
and repo,
Linux.
you should be fine.
I mean, now IntelliJ would open.
There we go.
Okay, I guess that worked. Did it work? Yes, it did.
Need a passphrase. Why is it not typing? Oh, right. It's just Linux. It just doesn't type anything.
I mean, it's better than the alternative.
I suppose it's fair. Display your password to the world.
Here you go, guys. Take a look at this.
Okay, I have IntelliJ open. I'm at like the first screen. What do I do?
Okay.
I'm
We'll
sorry,
wait
I'm
till
a noob.
not a problem. We'll wait till everybody is here for IntelliJ.
Okay.
Oh. The way the clipboard works in Linux is interesting. You just pipe it to clip.
Okay. So once everybody's there, let me know.
Someone is randomly texting me about a what?
Type into the new dev chat if you are on the main screen for this. I believe Miss Mom, you don't have to because you already got the code and everything. So if you can just load up the code, that'd be the best for you.
I'm just a consultant, so don't wait on me.
Yep.
You can probably hear that.
Yeah, that's my end. I apologize for that.
No, I'm talking about my end. The kids yelling.
Occasionally, but that's fine.
Is that a functional key? I think it's a functional key.
So if you are on a screen similar to this, yeah, let me know. Yes, I did. I personally
Something
want you to
like
know that.
welcome to IntelliJ IDEA.
Yep.
Okay, that works.
There we go.
Okay, Quartz is there now. Blackjack, just waiting on you, I think.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to set up this, the SSH stuff.
So if are you using the Git or the Bash?
Yeah, I use Bash for it.
From Windows, or are you using the Git Bash?
I'm using Git Bash as the Windows distribution.
Commands should all be the same.
I recommend using Git Bash to get your SSH key because that's how it worked for me.
Oh, I haven't done the SSH thing. I probably should.
Yep, go ahead and get your SSH key.
Yes.
Because you'll need to upload your SSH key to the server so that way you can pull the code.
Wait, does SSH even work on Windows?
Yes,
Is that a
Yes. Yes, it does.
okay?
SSH works pretty much everywhere.
Okay.
I think the only place it doesn't is DOS. And even then, I'm not sure. Let me double check that now.
Yeah, because I think DOS just used Telnet, right? I don't think SSH was even around yet. Or no, it was specific to the Unix platform.
Oh, no. It doesn't support it, but you can get SSH DOS, which is an open source SSH, SCP, SFTP, and Telnet client for DOS.
Hey, should it have an SSH-RSA at the very beginning?
Yes.
So the key is supposed to have that when you paste it in.
I think so, yes.
I think so. Man, I haven't done this in so long.
I know, right?
This is ridiculous.
I'm double checking.
Yeah, I remember the first time I did it on the original GitLab some time back.
Yes. Yes, it should begin with the SSH-RSA. You should be able to paste that whole thing in.
Okay, because I'm trying to use the command they gave you to test the setup.
Yeah, it starts with SSH-RSA and ends with the email.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what mine looks like. But I run SSH-T and then my email, and it's just sits. Is that normal? I'm like, it looks like it's thinking. It's claiming I should be receiving a welcome to GitLab message, and it's just sitting there instead. It's supposed to sit there for a while.
Git for Windows is the website, right?
Okay. Try this.
Is the website that you get Git from gitforwindows.org?
You can check that link out right there. You'll be using it with Aether.Radical.Industries instead of that, but this will run you through the process if you're having any trouble.
Yeah, try doing that, Blackjack.
Okay, does that just Oh, wait. I did not want to open GitHub. I wanted to open Git Bash. There's a difference. There we go.
Ooh, this is interesting. Okay.
So I just paste that, replace the with mine, I assume.
Yes.
Wait, give me
Yeah,
like.
highlighting to insert does not work.
Forgive me, I've already got all the code up. I'm just trying to get it to all load up.
Oh, you've already got the code course? Cool.
Oh yes, I
Alright,
got
so that's
that.
doing the
I've just been looking over it.
Hey, if you are ahead of the curve, great. We're just trying to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Be sure to
Yeah.
pull from runes under cursor 1, I think. Is the
Right.
most up to date.
That is the current furthest ahead branch.
Yeah, make sure
Very
to pull
well.
from runes under cursor 1, and that's going to be your best one. Cosine being the last one to author something there.
Very well. It's just there's problems with my own Gradle build, so I've just got to manage all that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, that's it. So now we'll talk a little bit when we're going through the setup and all of this, kind of the flow and how these branches are going to be set up. If you don't understand Git, you don't understand branches, that's totally fine.
We'll help you through the
We'll
process.
explain all of that.
Yeah, we'll help you
Right,
through the
we'll-
process, make sure you guys understand. And
And if you still don't understand it at the end, say, hey, I didn't understand a word of that. You just spoke Latvian to me. And then I'll just probably laugh at you for like 5 minutes. I set a limit, 5 minutes max. Then
You say
then we'll help
charitable.
you through it. Well, I can't do 10 minutes anymore. HR gets on my back.
yeah,
My day
I
has
do.
been
I'm sorry.
made. Use Git and optional Unix tools from the Windows command prompt.
Yeah, you can do that.
HR never said anything about 15 minutes.
That's true. They did just say no more 10-minute laughing bout.
Yeah, but if it's greater than
No,
10
nothing over
minutes,
10
that's
minutes.
when I have an issue. I'm sorry. It's just
Oh, so if I do 9 minutes and 59 seconds, I'm
you're
okay.
fine then.
Yeah, I
Perfect.
need to
What's up,
find a
Husky?
stopwatch.
Don't forget the 999 milliseconds.
Oh, there you go.
See,
Okay.
I'm using the SSH-T and then email to test it. That's what I'm supposed to do, right?
Did you type in the thing that I said?
Yeah, I used that. It generated the key pair. It seems to
You don't
be that
have
it's
you don't have to
generating.
test it. Just go to the location.
Cheeky question. If I get
Well,
the
that's the thing,
Unix
is that I
tools, will I
went, I
ever be
copied
able to
it,
go back?
I put it into the site in what I assume is a correct manner.
Yep.
And then, yeah,
Okay.
it's just.
If it's
not
on the
working out.
site, then you should be fine right now. It says your SSH keys 1 and then your email and then like a really weird code. Yeah.
Because it says SSH. Here, let me open it up. SSH-RSA space and then bunch of token digits equals and then my email.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can see your key. You're all set up.
Okay.
Okay.
Set up then. Okay. So
Wait,
So
if
then,
I
it's
get
just
the Unix
Bash
tools,
being weird then.
if I get the Unix tools for Windows, will I ever be able to go back?
No. No, unfortunately not. Once
Perfect.
you use Unix stuff, you never use Windows again.
Except
Okay.
for Unix is a pain in the ass to work with.
I mean,
I don't want to
I mean,
install
yeah.
Unix is that much easier because I grew up with a Mac.
okay. So
well, see, and if you grew up with that, using all the Unix stuff, you're already going to be that much more comfortable with it and
Oh,
accustomed
yeah,
to it.
no.
Yep.
Unix is
that time for
basically
Unix.
just Mac stripped of all the stupid limitations they stick on them.
so Blackjack set up. Husky, are you good now?
OpenSSL or native Windows secure channel library.
English, please.
Mm,
There's. Here, I'll just take a picture.
that one I'm not totally sure of because I don't use that tool.
Would be great if I could just get for Unix, but like I guess not.
Okay.
You're probably better off with native Windows secure channel.
Yeah.
Yep. Gotcha. Next.
Okay, so I went to
Oh
open
no,
the
there's so
Runecraft
much more.
branch, and it's giving me a giant Rude 404. Saying it doesn't
no.
exist or I don't have permission.
Or
What?
I click on Jaden Ingle / Runecraft, the master branch.
that was a
404.
mistake. That was 3.1.1. You should have bucket plugins Runecraft.
What do I do?
Oh, there we go. I just had to refresh it. My bad.
Check out Windows style.
Sorry,
Yep.
just a moron.
Commit Unix style line endings. That should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so what that'll do is, because Windows uses a carriage return and a line feed for the end of their lines, and Unix just uses a line feed, line feed. Basically, Windows has an extra character snuck in because, well, they can't do things the standard way.
Well, Windows
Things
10 is
just
the
kinda
standard way
format
nowadays.
bluntly.
Oh, there goes my computer. I've just turned Windows into Unix.
Woot!
There you go.
Oh no, there's so much more.
Congrats.
What's wrong with this installer?
Welcome to Windows.
Pretty much.
No, come to
Could be
the dark
worse.
side.
Could be
Install
Mac.
Windows 7.
Okay.
If I've never mentioned, I absolutely do abhor Windows for, a majority, a plethora of reasons, if you will.
Gee, we couldn't tell.
Okay, well, at least
Yeah, I'd
I'm
love
telling
to
you
switch
so.
out, but like. Here, I have another picture coming your way.
Okay.
The
On the
problem
site,
with using like
press the
Linux, because the problem with Macintosh is that everything's restricted. You can't do shit. The problem with Linux is that nothing's built for it. And the problem with Windows is it doesn't do anything you want it to. So
Just get wine.
You almost need a new
Just get
operating
wine and it's
system.
perfect.
Real. That should be fine.
wine kind of works. I've used it before. It's not exactly the most reliable.
It's slow,
You have to
but
do
like
a lot of jury
it
rigging
runs
to
it.
make it do anything.
It runs it.
Sometimes, if you're lucky.
It works sometimes. At
It
least
refuses to run like half my games, and it
sometimes.
refuses to run my emulators out. Linux is so finicky. That's why I stick with Windows, even though it's maybe not as powerful.
Linux is just like a
Okay,
fine
done.
wine. Okay,
I've clicked
it's
install.
a-
There goes.
Which
there
is to
goes
say,
the
one
door.
wrong move and it spills over the floor, and you can't put it back in the
Bye-bye,
bottle.
Windows.
Look, if my
No.
computer crashes in the middle of this because of overheating,
I will legitimately.
You
have
want
no
extreme
idea
sport?
how many colorful words will come into this chat.
Do you want to hear an extreme sport? Updating your BIOS during a lightning storm. I had to do that about 2 months ago.
Oh, there's something.
Okay, I'll shut up now.
Really, I just
So Husky, you
I
set
like
up now
Linux.
with
I
your
mean,
Git?
I run it on my laptop. I have a dual boot.
Should I
here
launch
so that I
Git Bash
can-
or not?
Yes.
It is
Oh,
very-
launch
yeah,
Git.
dual boot.
Launch Git
I just don't
Bash.
have room for a dual boot.
Yes, you'll need to launch Git Bash so that you can run the command line utilities there to get your SSH key.
And I don't want to see the release notes because I don't care.
I'm gonna grab my
There you
right
go.
back.
There you go.
No one does.
I think you figured
Okay,
that part
I'm
out.
here.
Okay. Take
Okay. Now
this in.
there should be. Well, yeah, Riv's got you there. There was a little walkthrough in GitLab. It tells you
Yeah.
where to put it, where you have to put the key when it's back, how to get it out of it, whatever.
level 80.
Okay, so I cannot use the Windows command line. I have
level
to
80, you got
use
the help thing.
the GNU Linux one.
Yes, the
Okay.
Windows command line does not have the tools that you need for SSH keys, but using the Git Bash and the other things like that, that'll take care of it. Because it's
Okay, Git
essentially
Bash on
emulating
Windows,
Bash
okay, that
in
one.
Windows.
To copy now, I need to press like 5 times.
I have
Oh
returned.
my kid. Yeah, that's amazing.
I know, right? I'm amazing. I'm so glad someone finally recognizes this.
They're lying.
Riff, did you see the message Curtis just sent?
No such file or directory.
I did.
It's amazing.
You know, at this rate, you know what's gonna happen?
What's
It's gonna
that?
be tomorrow morning. And we're gonna be like, okay, now we can finally start. Now we've got everything set up.
Well, we just
I don't have everything set up.
do you have your
That's
SSH
not
key?
the end of the world. Which is basically why we're doing this, to make sure that everyone has everything they need. And can...
Pressing enter.
Didn't see your message earlier, but I totally agree with you. Sivan, I guess. I don't know how to say that.
It's gonna be
The
a
long
long day. I
burn.
can't copy paste.
got
You
this.
can copy paste. You have to right click, I believe it is, to paste.
Mhm.
Oh, well, that's helpful.
There you go.
Amen to that, though.
Always a trick.
Oh, paste just like gives me 2 new lines. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
I didn't say anything.
I'm now spamming Command C. No, Control C. Oh, it worked. Okay.
Okay, you have your key now?
Okay, before.
I remember,
Enter-
children, spam the button hard enough and the computer will work.
I mean, like, restart the computer and it works as well.
Try turning
Turn it off and on again.
Yep.
Just hard reset it. Nobody cares if it disk boot failures.
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah, no joke.
okay, so you have
Yeah,
your
I used to have a
There's an
you have
axe
a
to my
key
screen.
70s.
Try turning it on and off again.
Let me have an SSH key
The
there.
harder you hit the
Use the
keys, the
suggested
better
path.
things work.
you
I
can
use
use-
level 80.
By pressing enter.
You can use the suggested path.
Okay.
That's fine.
That's happened. Enter passphrase.
Type in any passphrase that
That's
you would
just the personal password for you to keep
Oh,
the
okay.
keys in order, and it's
Nah,
just basically your
You're
password.
supposed to type passphrase. It literally tells you this.
Oh, empty for no passphrase. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
It's up to you.
I can feel the disappointment emanating from level 80 over.
I need a drink.
Okay. Once you
Okay,
have
happy.
once you have that,
I think it was that bad.
once you have that, go to where it
Working on
saved
the
it.
different sectors that I have, and people make comments like that. It's like I would rather take sandpaper through my ears than hear comments like that.
So
I mean, I never said the joke wasn't completely overdone.
once you
No,
have that.
Whatever
Wait,
have
what?
you.
Okay, so once you have that, Husky, go ahead
Yeah?
and grab.
Oh, okay.
Go into the folder in which it is.
I
Could've been
can't
worse.
find my profile settings. Okay, I found it.
Okay, so you found it.
I should be able to find the folder if Windows Explorer does okay.
There you go.
Why not just... Is he
Where?
using Bash?
You should be able to
Where?
just cat it.
Where is
Yeah, I was gonna
Tilda?
say.
Why can't Tilda be here?
Yeah, you can
I
can
don't know
just
where
cat
it
it.
puts it inside your file system. But
No,
yeah,
it's
that's
just gonna
probably
open Google Chrome for me. That's nice. That's very nice of it.
That's what Chrome does best. Gets in the way.
Well, that needs some memory.
Amen to
Okay,
that.
keep going.
Why is it when it's closed and I'm playing Fallout 4, it's eating 80 megabytes?
What
Of
on
my
earth
RAM.
is this folder?
Why?
What is this folder?
Which
What
folder?
kind of stuff have I installed?
Which folder?
Installing all the porn. I'm gonna get a
I
fucking
can't find
virus.
.sh. Oh no, this is bad. Kilobyte?
Gosh,
Yes, I found it.
why is my freaking ringtone so loud though?
Open, select the program. Notepad. Oh no, this is hard. Now, how do I know which one is public and which one's private? I can't even. Your.email@example.com.
Is that what? Did you paste his command verbatim?
I did.
Okay. you
should
need
not
to
have
do
done
it
that.
again, but with
But probably
your
shouldn't have
actual
done that. Yes.
Yeah,
Right. All good.
that happens.
You eat. And delete
You know what
this
true
too.
despair is? True despair is when you type a command and send it to a player, and then they decide to use it with the quotation marks.
No, as soon as I typed it in, it just instantly took me places. Why, Chrome?
Dude, get a real browser. I don't care if it's Firefox or Opera or Edge or anything, but anything else.
You know,
Look, I really can't do that. That would be treason.
Honestly, at this point, Internet Explorer might be an upgrade. The amount of RAM Chrome eats up in the background.
I mean, my Chrome doesn't eat up any memory in the background, but that's set it up properly. But it's just,
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably tweaked it. Yeah,
I
I was too lazy to go find the setting. I figure, well, I already have Firefox, I have Edge, so why bother having another? I got Edge for when I'm actually browsing things. I've got Firefox for when I need add-ons. So why would I need Chrome? You know.
Okay, so
Okay, this should work.
yes,
I still don't know how Chrome got so popular so fast.
Press enter. No passphrase. It generated. Did it generate? Okay, it did.
okay. If it generated, go ahead and
Find it.
you can either find it or you can cat it. We'll do finding because why not?
I have it. I have it. It's simple enough. But then it's on Notepad and it's all in like one single line.
Yep. Control A,
That's fine.
Control C.
Yep.
Then go
Done that.
then go to your settings and then paste it into SSH key.
Gotcha.
And you want
It's
the
happened.
pub.
What?
ID RSA.pub.
Yes.
Okay. Paste that in, add the key after you add a title. Love lady will confirm that it worked, and then we'll get on to the next part.
Okay. I attempt to have done. I appear to have done it.
Okay. Love lady,
Yeah.
good to go?
Give me just 1 second. They just got a call. I was just seeing what was going on. If it's bad enough, I'm gonna.
Guys.
If not, I think we'll be okay.
Right down.
I just want to see what's going on.
Sometimes you need a firm hand, or rather, a firm voice.
Okay. So,
Yes, he is set up.
okay. Husky, blackjack. Go
What?
to
What?
go to your IntelliJ IDEA. You should see the
Yep.
like create new project, import project, open, check out from version control. You see that?
Yeah.
Click on check out from version control.
Mhm.
Git, and then type in the Git repository URL, which will be this.
Just one in the browser.
Should be that.
Okay.
And then save it into a directory. Make sure to
So that's the
test.
SSH for it, isn't it?
Hmm?
That's the SSH thing for it, isn't it?
Kinda, yeah.
Oh, I can't copy paste. What's wrong with that?
Should be able to copy paste.
It's probably just lagging a second. Give it a moment.
Okay, it's happened. It's happened. Unless I've done it twice now. Okay, it's
Probably
happened.
have.
Okay, then hit test to
Test.
make sure that it actually pings back.
Yes.
Okay,
And
Come back to
now
the
we play
actual-
the waiting game.
It's time to clone it. Right?
what's that?
Right?
Yeah, go ahead and clone it. After you,
Action
find,
successful.
after you do a parent directory and the directory name, clone it. And then you guys should be
Would you
dropped
like
into it.
to- Yes.
Would you like to create an IntelliJ IDEA project for sources you've checked out? I assume yes.
Sure.
Create project from existing sources, import project from external model.
Yep.
The create project?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, so just create projects from existing sources then?
Yes. Create
Project
project
name,
from
root
existing
box,
sources.
That doesn't matter. Project format, that can stay. Next. Oh, wait, what?
The project file already exists.
Yes. override it?
Hold
No. It
No.
should have.
on. Pulling it up myself.
It should have been from existing sources and then been taken care of.
So if I
Oh, I'm
close.
supposed.
Yeah, create project from existing sources, right?
Yeah.
Then we hit next. Then
Yeah.
project name,
Okay,
project
so
location.
did you guys get the thing that says that you checked out in the IntelliJ IDEA project?
What?
Did you
We
guys?
did. We did check out from version control. Git.
Okay, so check out from version control, Git. You typed in git at either.radical.industries, bucket, plugins, yada, 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 right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just copy pasted whatever it was you gave me.
Okay. Parent directory and directory name, you guys got that typed in.
Mm-hmm.
What? Yeah.
Project name is Runecraft. Project location is, or is this before that?
Colon users kilobyte IDEA project.
After you hit clone repository, you should see parent, like git repository URL, parent directory, and
All right, hold
directory
on.
name.
I'm going to try this again. We're going to see. All right, so I paste in the URL.
Yes.
Directory already
Yeah.
exists and is not empty. Shut up. I'll fix
Okay.
that real quick.
And directory name, make sure that that's good. Okay, if you
Why?
hit
Why
clone,
doesn't this work? Well, that's me every day though.
if you click clone, you should see a thing that says you have checked out an IntelliJ IDEA project. Would you like to open it? Do you guys-
Here, hold on 1 second. I gotta go fix this. I gotta delete the existing folder so it has somewhere to put it. There we go. Okay. So there's a URL, the directory, and now I just clone, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you guys see after you hit clone?
Cloning source repository. Would you like to create an IntelliJ IDEA project for the sources you have checked out to C colon users kilobyte IDEA project Runecraft?
You should not be creating one. I'm not sure why it's asking to, actually.
That's what I'm wondering.
No, I mean it's asking me the. Hold on. My phone's storage is going down.
No problem.
And
But
crashed
I
on
think
me.
that's
All right,
room
let's
for
start
the
that back up
speaker.
again. It does not like me very much, does it?
Click no. Don't create
No?
a project because there should already be a project.
No, it's not doing anything. It's
Oh,
stopped.
I get what's happening. It's preemptively creating a project and then trying to import the existing one from the branch, isn't it?
Well, you should just be pulling the code directly, which has the project file in it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's cloned it. I need to click no now.
Yeah, if you hit no,
the-
what happens?
It just goes back to the IntelliJ IDEA screen, and
Okay.
there's nothing happening except the folders there.
Then you're fine. You should have the code already. Open it and see if you've got the
There we
different
go.
folders and
So do
files.
Yeah,
not
I have
create
the
an
folders.
IntelliJ IDEA project for this.
IDEA Gradle, Runecraft Bucket, Runecraft Core, Build Gradle License, whatever.
Yes.
Okay, then you're good. You got.
So I want to say no when I am asked if I want to create an IntelliJ IDEA project for the sources I've checked out.
correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Then you'll want to import the project, I think. Or open it.
Oh no! I installed IDEA Vim. This is great.
Okay, I think it worked because there's now a Runecraft folder that showed up.
Correct. So go
Yeah.
ahead and if you open or if you click import project, go
Oh, I
to
can just
where you
select
saved
the-
it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You guys should click on the I can't remember where it is.
.idea, I assume.
Well, there's a specific place. For this, it'd be the Gradle, I think. Yeah,
Gradle.xml.
hold on.
Gradle.
Uh,
So-
There's a wrapper.
Hit up the Gradle build script then, basically.
I think so. Yes.
What?
I'll go ahead and try it. Can I import anything from the Gradle?
Should be able to.
The Gradle should be taking care of all of the dependencies for the plugin itself.
If they import it, it's the build.gradle, yeah?
I don't
Here, I'll
think so.
screenshot it for you.
An actual idea file.
Because there is...
There's no file, there's a folder.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's a
.idea.
.idea folder.
There is
Yeah,
a
okay,
Gradle.xml and run configurations.
And that's what you did? Quartz?
Oh, I just let it do what it needs to do automatically.
You guys could try... Go ahead.
If Husky, if that's the screen that you've got up right now, you've got it open in IntelliJ already.
Yeah, you've already got it open then.
Then how do I get into it?
Oh, double click on Runecraft Core. Open up that file structure.
Uh-huh.
You should see a few extra bits and bobs in there. One of them saying source.
Then
SRC.
Java.
And then the package.
Okay.
the package.
Runecraft.java, got it.
Wait, what did I target?
Okay. Where are you, Blackjack?
I'm at open file or project.
Go ahead.
Is Runecraft in that project list?
I see Runecraft, like the Runecraft folder, and I see a whole bunch of files inside of it. I just don't know how to target.
Well,
I want my Eclipse project
Sorry,
files back. Those are easy to understand.
I'm
okay.
getting it.
I'm not understanding where you're actually at.
Here.
So
Me.
Okay. Do
then
this.
Screenshot.
Oh, that's Husky. Never mind.
Do this. Go ahead and click on
This is
open.
where I am at.
Okay. Just click on Runecraft and hit OK.
The folder itself.
Runecraft core? Okay, the main folder.
And then hit OK.
Done. And loading components. Slowly loading components. Is what they should have written.
The joys of a conference call.
There we go.
Well, you win some, you lose some.
Welcome to an IntelliJ IDEA. All right, I'll close that crap. All right, I think it's open. It's syncing.
Wait, what am I
Sync
supposed
failed.
to open? I'm
Joy.
sorry.
Okay. Not a problem.
No, nothing. Just as long as you've got the code downloaded and opened in the IDE, you're
I
okay.
don't have it
We're
open.
just gonna start.
So, down in the bottom corner, where it says bottom right-hand corner, do you see a thing that says Git? Husky and Blackjack. And
It
Quartz as well, if you aren't
failed
done.
to
Failed.
sync.
I still don't know what to open.
Okay.
Shouldn't
Says
have
the sync
anything
failed.
open yet.
Actually, let me...
Invalid Gradle JDK configuration found. Project JDK is not specified.
Okay.
Did I
so
forget to
you-
install the freaking JDK?
Possibly.
Possibly, yeah.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna be really pissed with myself if I install the freaking JDK. Because this will be the second time in like the last 2 months I've forgotten to install that stupid thing.
Actually, I got an error much like that, but I just had to set it up to point to my JDK.
Oh, yeah, no, I got it.
Already on my machine.
Right.
That probably
Right,
just tell
because
it
the
where it
project
is.
file by default was pointing to, I believe, where mine was stored. You update it when you push to Git from this point forward. You won't have you won't be pushing your project file to the server. You'll keep that for yourself. That way, you push a change to the code, somebody else doesn't automatically have your references to your files and stuff like that.
I'm gonna
You
get there,
don't need to
Husky.
open anything yet, Husky.
Oh, okay.
We're just getting all of it set up so that the Gradle scripts are syncing, all of the JDK, everything like that is all set up and pointed to the correct areas. Then what we're going to do is worry about swapping to the correct branch.
Yeah.
Then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay. So, Husky, did you get an error saying something along the lines of basically you don't have a JDK.
Hold on. I don't know where I'm at. You've lost me.
Happens to everybody. Okay.
I'm so new to Windows.
Okay. So. Oh, you're still on that one.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so go up to the
There you go, all
Runecraft
files
folder
are-
that holds all of the other Runecraft folders. So the one that just says Runecraft, and inside of it is the Gradle, Runecraft bucket, Runecraft core. Click on the folder that just says Runecraft with the funny little folder icon. It has like a little black square in the corner, and
The
then
command
click
prompt
OK.
looking thing.
Oh, there is no black square, but
Okay, so if you go up a little bit past Gradle, you should see a main folder that you clicked on to go down. Should be just
yes, there is a main folder, but
Yeah.
there's no
click that and just hit OK.
create project from existing sources.
Yep.
Import project from external model.
Error, cannot load 2 modules. Runecraft-core underscore main tilde 1. Cannot load module file. Great big long path. Does not exist. You give me one for core underscore test tilde 1 as well.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
It did happen, however, before I started syncing it, so it might be that it was looking for files that didn't exist yet.
Gradle. Or existing resources, I think. No.
Well, that
Import
would be
project.
like-
Import project from an external model Gradle.
Okay. Use auto import.
Yes.
Okay. There's like a whole checklist kind of thing that I can use, but I'm gonna just check that and leave everything default other than that.
Sounds good.
The project file c:\users kilobyte idea projects runecraft.idea already exists. Would you like to overwrite it?
Okay, hit cancel. Go ahead and just go back to the main screen where it says import version control, that sort of thing. Go back to that.
The caption version control.
Yeah, just hit open. Click on the main folder.
What? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Click on the main folder that says just Runecraft. And hit open.
Yeah, one sec. I need to find that.
Just,
Yep.
Okay, got it?
Okay.
Yep.
Loading components for Runecraft.
There you go. We're good now.
Yay!
Sorry, guys. It's been a
Now
long
you
day.
will most likely have the
Stop giving me tips.
JDK error.
Close. There we go. Invalid JDK configuration found. Yeah.
Yep.
JDK.
There we go. Now we just got to
Oh,
get that
that's-
set up to point to each of your JDKs, and then we are good.
Yep, which I think Quartz has already done. Blackjack has already done, yes.
I don't know where this is.
I think so. It does say Runecraft synced successfully.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, do I need to
and-
install Gradle?
No, it's
No, no, no,
already
no. Gradle
installed.
is part of this. You're all right.
Okay, so where do I point it to?
You need to point it to the local JDK on your system.
Oh, that's not. Oh.
I need to find that.
Where is that? Settings?
1.8 invalid.
File, project structure. Under project, you'll see your project SDK and everything.
Project structure. Project SDK 1.8 invalid.
Yes.
Okay, so click that drop down and see if you have another one available.
No, there's only that.
Okay, then you're going to want to hit new, JDK.
Yeah?
It'll be under C.
C:.
I believe program files, sorry, not program files, user, your name, go down until you see.
Reverse kilobyte.
Is it there? Hold on. No, it'd be
Mine by
under.
default is
Hold
program.
on
Yeah,
one sec.
it's program file. Sorry. So
Guys,
it's C.
give me a sec.
No problem.
You're good.
Hey, level 80. When are we updating to 1.9?
Hey guys, I'm back.
Welcome
My,
back.
my dad thought something exploded in my room.
Yeah,
Oh,
that happens.
well, that's. Hmm.
So where am I
Uh,
pointing this to?
Okay, hit new, SDK, C, program files.
C:,
Yep, C colon,
program files.
program files, Java. And you'll see a
Yeah, Java.
few JDKs there.
JDK, yes.
Yep.
Am I just clicking that?
Yep, whichever one is the
The folder?
highest version.
Yeah, I only have 1.8, so
Yeah, but there's usually a little bit of text after it, like 144, 132, like something along those lines.
I have.
If
Yeah,
you only
I
have one, you
170
don't have to worry about it.
There is only one JDK in my system. So
Okay, so then click that and hit OK.
okay, appears to have worked.
It should be down at the bottom. You should see a thing that says indexing.
What?
Or your computer's already done with it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Apply.
So everybody has the code now. Everybody's that. So we'll next up is the branch. Yes, level 80.
yes. They might have to pull first. Can't remember if
Yeah.
it pulls all of the heads by default.
Oh, it's still failing sync.
Does it give you an error?
Problems 14. I will read them. Module Runecraft bucket test. Invalid item Runecraft core main ~1. Independency list. Module Runecraft bucket test. Invalid item in Gradle or bucket whatever.
This is the same problem you're having. Oh, I think my mic cut out. Blackjack, this is the same problem you're having, right?
I think so. Where it says cannot load two modules, and it's got runecraft-core_main ~1, and then same thing but with test ~1 instead.
Yep.
It does not exist. However, that was
but that-
before I synced Runecraft, so it may be that those just didn't exist at the time.
There you go. That's what shows up.
Okay.
So that is different from the error I ran into.
Can it just work first time? That would be
Right.
nice.
Nah, that'd be too easy.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. We can never complain to all our customers after that.
Where's the song actually laugh? Like, people whine and complain about plugins that exist for Bucket, but 99% of the plugins they complain about are free, are being provided because a person is nice,
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, so try
and you're
this.
going to whine
YouTube.
about free food, basically?
Click on File, and then just below halfway through, Invalidate Caches /Restart. Click on that. Let's see if
I've had to use that a couple times.
What?
Invalidate
File-
and
There
restart.
it is.
Yeah.
File, Invalidate Caches, Restart. It's
Yep.
just below halfway through.
Invalidate and restart. Am I doing that?
Should
I mean,
bring up
my-
a pop-up of invalidate and restart.
Okay.
Should be the blue one.
Yep. Just wait for the 5 hours IntelliJ takes to open now.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
What are you developing on?
I'm on IntelliJ right now.
No, I meant the system.
Oh, Windows. 7.
I think he meant more along what specs, but that works.
More what?
I think he more meant along the what specs are you using, but that works.
Okay.
Like RAM, processing power.
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
Fair
whatever my computer gave it.
By the way, it's probably better
Error
than
loading
another
project
toaster.
cannot load 2 modules. Details. I will do that. Okay, can you like show me what's going on? Okay, Gradle's downloading. The Oh, Runecraft Core main tilde1 and Runecraft Core test tilde1 can't load. 2 models cannot be loaded. You can remove them from the project. No files will be deleted.
If you can remove the tilde1, then go ahead.
I mean,
Anything with a
apparently.
tilde one is fine to drop.
Level, where are we tossing them in terms of branch? You want to toss them into runes 1? Or do we want to toss them into setup? And just have them kind of play around with that?
Let's toss them into setup first.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and remove selected.
Guys, if you don't pipe down, you're
I don't
moving
know
to it.
why it's asking to do that, though.
Oh, it asked me to do the same thing.
Oh, did it really?
There we go, I'm good.
Oh, this project was not.
Yeah, the
set up
rest seems to be running in background. You know, downloading Gradle and doing stuff.
Okay, so what that'll be doing is all of the dependencies, everything that's needed to
I
make
am
sure
5
that
minutes
this
away.
runs.
I'm 5 minutes away from, you know, kicking the children off the Wi-Fi.
Not the end of the world.
You could kick them off a lot more than the Wi-Fi.
Okay, so
That's
Cliffs
true.
and
That
volcanoes
is
you come to mind.
everybody's got the project structure and everything. Everything's all good, yes?
Probably. I can't see anything, but I know it's synced at least, so I know they're there somewhere.
Okay. Bottom
Still syncing.
bottom right hand
my-
corner, you guys should see a
Oh.
thing that says Git. Git colon.
Master?
Click on that.
Yeah.
Do you guys see anything that says remote branches and then like several different folders?
Guys,
Just
I'm gonna
master.
go grab a cup of coffee
Config,
while
Matrix, Runes 1, and setup.
Okay.
I
just
assume-
download.
Click on setup and hit checkout as new local branch. You guys will get a pop-up. You guys can technically rename it whatever. I tend to keep it as whatever the main branch is.
Okay. Check out new
Still
branch
thinking,
setup from
still
Origin.
downloading.
Okay, and then up at the top corner, top right-hand corner, you'll see a thing that looks like a blue arrow with kind of a double dotted line thing.
Update project.
If you click on that, that'll just make sure that everything is up to date.
Okay, so just hit OK then. Don't change anything.
If you hit,
It's got like merge, rebase, branch default, using stash, using shelf.
should be fine just with the base stuff. I tend to use
Well, guys,
like
you
you should stash and then merge, like stash merge stuff. Yeah.
It's synced. It's synced.
It's a miracle!
Awesome.
I
Then
love
you're on the
my
right track.
computer. No, I don't. But
I don't blame you.
hold on. So what am I moving to? The local branches. Check out tag or revision.
Do you see remote branches?
Yeah.
Do you see setup, origin.
Yes.
Setup.
Origin
whatever.
slash setup.
Yep. Click on that. Check out
Yep.
his new local branch.
Check out as. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it a setup. Because setup.
That works. Usually that's best practice, but you know, if you ever feel like you want to rename it to something else, totally up to you.
Yep.
It doesn't change what it's called on the origin or on the server. It's just your local copy.
Yep. Okay, I've got it.
Okay. Up in the up in the top right, you should see a thing that has a blue arrow with a double dot. Top right, you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, click that. That'll make sure that you are fully up to date.
Am I clicking everything? No, I can't click everything. Some of them are radio buttons. This is great.
Just keep it as default, I think.
Okay. All files are
Right,
up to
so
date.
branch default and using stash.
Branch
Yep.
default and using stash.
All files are up to date.
Okay, if all your files are up to date, do you guys see a project over on the left-hand side?
I see the project
Yeah.
name.
Okay, so
If you click on it, there's like a drop down.
Ah, I see.
yes, click on that.
I wonder if
go
I can
to-
get a skin that makes this look like Eclipse, so I actually know where things are again.
Then you can go to source SRC, and then there is all the stuff that you guys currently you guys can play with it. Basically, you know, make your own custom messages, that sort of thing. Basically, this is setup is basically an environment for you guys to kind of just play around, see what you guys want to do.
I don't see.
Oh, there we go. I got the thing to open.
Oh, come on again.
Wait, what?
That is the second time in the last 15 minutes it has crashed on me.
Intelligent,
Oh.
Getting really old real quick.
intelligent,
What's
crashed
up?
on you.
Yeah. It doesn't like me.
Hmm.
You might be.
I thought there's a way to add more.
There you go. Okay, so I'm in here. How do I get to the SRC folder again?
Project over on the left-hand side. Do you see that?
Just where it says Runecraft and the little path area?
Yeah. Click on that down. You should see a few things like Runecraft's core, bucket, I think.
There's core, forge, sponge, bucket.
Click on core
Okay.
and then go to like basically
Oh
any
yeah.
one of those
See,
files.
there we go.
If you double click it, it works like Eclipse and opens the side thing and the package explorer.
So Runecraft.java is of course like the general like startup stuff.
Mhm.
So the way this project works, if you guys look in the top right where you've got all your icons, next to
Yeah.
the green triangle play button, there's a little drop that says Spigot Debug or Build Plugins.
Mm-hmm.
This is the configuration. If you have it selected on Build Plugins, you click that green triangle, it will build every plugin. It'll give you the core jar, the bucket jar, the forge jar, and the sponge jar. Currently, the sponge and forge don't do anything,
But
and
they're there.
core is mostly for API references in the future. Bucket is what you'll be using on a server. So if you have a test environment set up locally that you want to run this and see how things are working, make sure you use the bucket jar. This will all be found in the release folder. If it's not already there, it will create at the same level as Runecraft Bucket, Runecraft Core. You'll want to use, so like I've got Runecraft-Bucket-4.0 snapshot dist. We want the dist one. That's the distribution. Sources is just sources. That's not going to work the way you want it to. When you've got that running on your server, we have a command or something that you add to the command line that if you swap it to that one and then you hit the little bug for debugging, you can enter debug mode to see what's going on with the code.
Okay.
That way you're saying, okay, but I'm hitting this, it's not getting the correct block. Well, when you've got it running on your Spigot or Bucket server, you run it in debug mode, you've got a one-to-one communication with the server, you can see what's going on. A really great utility. Just know that if you keep hitting one or the other and you're like, well, it's not doing what I thought it would, make sure we're swapping between those things. Essentially, don't try to debug with the build plugins version running, and don't swap to debug and then try to build it, because it won't work.
Yeah.
Okay.
One is made to
So
be
I just wanted to
dependent
touch
upon
on that.
it working. So I do have to ask though, how does, because I assume the core is where all the actual code for the thing is.
Yeah.
Right. So
So-
this was the next part I was. Runecraft core is the main Runecraft code. This is going to be, if when we swap to the other branches, we'll start talking about some of this. As it sits right now, we've got the main API interface. We've got the energy that I've still got to finish and push now that I think about it. We've got platform managers. We've got the runes themselves. We've got the wrappers for different objects like locations and chat
Hey,
styles,
level.
materials, players, worlds, etc.
level
That
80.
way we can handle everything in our own way and then just pass it to the platform, being Bucket or Forge or Sponge. And then
So basically, it's
that's
a myriad of
yeah,
wrappers.
Yes.
pretty much.
Okay.
All of your main Runecraft code, everything that you'll be writing. So if I say, hey, Blackjack, I need you to write the Genesis code for me. I'm going to be out of town for the weekend. Go write Genesis and push it whenever you get the chance. We'll see it. You'll put it in Runecraft core. Now, these other sub-projects are basically the handlers to convert our stuff into the native stuff. So we'll go from like a Rune player to a Craft Bucket player when we need to do certain interactions and things like that. As you start to play with it, you'll start to get a feel of how some of it is structured. Basically, each sub project is just that platform's direct implementation. The reason it's split up the way it is write once, run everywhere. I'd rather us write as much code as we can in the main Runecraft core section, because that's going to be included in each of the subsections. So when we compile for Bucket, we'll still get Runecraft core inside of our Bucket file, our Bucket jar.
Basically, it's to avoid stuff like, for example, how we have Java Edition, Bedrock Edition. People
Ah.
versions more or less in
it's so
sync.
that we don't have to write Runecraft 4.0 for Sponge, and then go write Runecraft 4.0 for Bucket, and then 4.0 for Forge. We're basically writing it for 4.0, and then each subsection is compiling it to, the sub-platform that we're targeting.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Always a fan of less work.
Yeah, basically a lot less work than whatever.
Trying to separately maintain 4 different versions of the same thing.
What's that, Husky?
Laziness is a respected trait in the coding world.
Yes.
Indeed.
That
Actually,
is-
Bill Gates once said that given the option, he'll always give the hard task to a lazy guy because the lazy one will figure out a more efficient, easier way to do it.
That is absolutely true. Instead of standing
Right.
up and closing my air vent, whenever it was too warm in my room, I found it was well to build an app on my phone. Controls an Arduino, which controls an actuator, which pushes and pulls the vent open and closed.
I feel
took
very
about
envious.
3 months worth of work to do that, whereas it would have taken me a minor 5 seconds to stand up and pull it or push it one way or the other. This is the programmer and engineer mindset. It may take me 8 extra months of work, but let me tell you, that takes off 13 seconds from my final task every time I want to do it. It's ridiculous.
Think about it this way: it's a long investment. You're assuming you're going to have to do that every time, and therefore you're cutting down the total cost of time.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So,
Streamlining your development process. We'll go with that.
the main question now is, do you guys understand basically how to utilize stuff? So here's another thing that's going to come up, okay? As does with any group project. One of you guys will go ahead and push something. Anytime that you come back to your code, me and Level 80, and I bet Cosine as well, we all recommend pulling the code and just seeing if anybody pushed.
Otherwise, then you're pushing a bunch of old stuff that could potentially overwrite new stuff.
Don't do that.
Yeah, no, yeah, you don't want
Correct.
you know, we will.
I've had it happen way too many times with my mod I made for Starbound on freaking GitHub.
So you guys do have access, if you guys so choose, to go ahead and write code for setup and push it. Any other branch that you guys wish to do this for, you guys will be doing a merge request. Basically, you guys will push out a request for us to merge your code in with the main code.
Yeah. Basically, merge just plays, and then we wait for you to say, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You guys do not have access to pushing to master directly. We're keeping master as basically what master always is. It should be the stable working copy. Now, it may be incomplete at certain stages.
Like right now, I think it's like 32 versions behind.
Yeah.
Right, because we haven't had anything worthwhile to push into master to bring it up to date.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, not to the point where we can say realistically we're okay with this.
Yeah, like, do we need an extra release to fix this one thing?
Exactly.
If
Another
you look at the branch that I'm on for 3.1.1, let's see. How far behind is master from our 3.1.1 branch?
It's-
168 commits. No
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah, and it's not even the it's not even
Jeez.
it's not even
That's
the
way
stable branch. Like level 80's big fix branch is the
Well,
stable.
no, that one's only 164. Well, only.
Only.
See, I'm sitting over here. I think the most commits I've ever had for my Starbound mod is total maybe, 40? Let alone
so
just 100 something
I got like
behind at the time.
we overall do want to make sure that you guys kind of understand the project structure and all that, and keep in mind there are a few ways of if you guys want to type little notes, there are things called to-dos. If you guys don't understand to-dos, say so.
Oh
now.
yeah, I know those.
Okay. Blackjack, do you know what to-do is?
It sounds vaguely familiar. I've probably seen it somewhere.
So basically,
Whatever you. Sorry.
a to-do is how to.
You basically put a comment, put to do in front of it, and then it highlights it saying you need to do this in all big yellow
Yes.
in this
Okay,
ID.
so it's just a fancy comment for a to-do list, basically.
Yes.
Pretty
So
much.
so one of the things. So this is
I found the init file.
There's also the double start
there you
command,
go.
which is documentation.
that is something that you can do.
Oh wow, this is really how the patterns are made.
Oh yeah.
Dude, this is way
Now,
simpler than I thought it was going to
yes.
be.
But if you're in
This has
setup
been
right now,
changed
then that's
drastically.
very old, outdated code for that.
Yes,
Oh,
it
I'm
is.
sure. I'm just saying, like, I didn't realize it was a simple.
Yeah.
We have done a lot of changes from 3.1.1 or the 3.x branch to the way it's done now in 4.0.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure. A lot of
Cosine
rewrites. maybe
So-
necessary to make it
so
more
right
efficient.
now,
to
this
make
is
sure that
this.
it matches in all directions.
So this is the current accelerator Java class, for instance. Let me just make sure that everything is all good here. Control C. Also, a little trick with Discord. If you guys do the triple tilde,
Backtick.
or not tilde,
Back to
yeah, and then type
Backtick.
Java afterwards, and then paste your code, and then the extra triple, you'll get code that looks like that in Discord.
And does the syntax formatting.
So that is Accelerator. Like it's got its own.
Let me stretch the window so it stops word wrapping it, because that just looked painful to look at.
All right.
There we go.
So that right there is the current Runes 1 branch. And I'll paste the whole thing there for you. That is the full code currently for Accelerator. Now, it doesn't have any of its functionality, but the basic premise is that each rune will have its own separate separate class and file and everything along those lines. The reason for that is simply because if, let's say, Accelerator breaks, we know to go look in the Accelerator code rather than to look everywhere else.
Keep it all packed into nice little modules, and it's easy to figure out which was behaving.
Pretty much.
Exactly. And this is also part of the design paradigm. If you look at the 3.x branch, all of the runes are stored in one file. All patterns are in one file.
Yeah,
And
looking at that file.
all of the calls to add the rune to a registry are in the same file. And then all of the functionality for the runes are all in one file. And it just basically says, is it this rune? Do this. Which is, in my opinion, the worst structure, but you do what you can with what you had. This is old stuff. I totally understand the point of it. What we're trying to do now,
I mean, it's
is
functional.
like this. No, absolutely. It works, but it could be better.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do here. We've created Accelerator as its own little package. Well, Accelerator is a pad rune. Our pad rune is a rune. If you follow those types of things, we have different subcategorizations of the rune types. If you need a little bit more information on what these are and why they fit into this, please ask. We're more than happy to explain it, and we may have to add more in the future. We may consolidate them in the future. You still kind of branching those out. But every rune will have a pattern and a rune function. The rune function is what that thing actually does. So like you're looking at this Accelerator code. Our pattern is a new pattern. We've got a new layer involved. It's a 5x5, and then it's got a rune material array, which is torches, wool, ink, dispenser, etc. All runes will be built this way. The main reason, when I give this to the world, hello, everyone, RuneCraft 4.0 is launched. Here's the API. Here's how you can now make your own rune and not bug us for 15 days straight asking for one simple little thing. You can build it yourself if you know how. Now, if you don't, I mean, obviously there's still going to be a process of adding new runes to RuneCraft. We're not just going to say, okay, this is it. You make your own, we're done. There will be more to it. As much as sometimes I want to say that. It's essentially so that you can now take the core API, write your own rune. You tell it what pattern it's going to be, what the function is. It's independent of everything else. You don't have to say specifically to bucket calls or anything like that. Just, hey, do this thing. Now here's this nice, neat little package. I've given you a name for it. It does everything that it needs. It has everything inside of the package. Please handle this. We take that package, we add it to the registry. It's now one of the fully functioning featured runes of RuneCraft for that server that's using that extension.
Fair enough.
Dude,
Could
I'm
be
excited.
in concept, easy enough. Most of the work in the back end is done to make all of this happen. You can add patterns and rune functions whenever. We've got a rune event handler. What is it? A rune. What do we call it? I think it was a rune event annotation. Basically certain events are called. So again, in the future, I want to write a plugin that says, anytime somebody enters a pad rune area, somebody walks into a levitation field, I want to capture that event and do something. So maybe I give that person $50 every time they enter a levitation field. Or you've entered your 10th levitation field of the day. Here's a diamond. You know, different things like this. So
This is the second one you
everything
used
is
today. That's too
trying-
many. Make them explode.
everything is trying to be kind of compressed into the most like user-friendly package possible. You build a rune, you give it to us, we take care of everything else. We throw these events, you can catch these events, do whatever you need to with them. Like I said, in theory, it should work fairly well. And especially for our sake, hey, I want to build a new rune that's not around yet. Okay, well, what do you want to build? Well, I want to build something that shoots fireworks out of an elytra for 15 minutes. Well, go ahead. You can build that rune using this syntax. Okay, this is what I want the pattern to be. This is what I want it to do. This is the event I want it to fire. This is the event I want it to listen to. Okay, we'll put a bow on it and hand it back to Runecraft. Now it's done.
All right, here's a question for you.
Here's
So the
an answer,
patterns,
hopefully.
you're using the strings to determine what is what, basically, right? Instead of using the IDs, as I assume you did originally, we're using strings. So what would you do, though? Say I want to make a rune that would... So I'm thinking I'm going to create, once the API comes out, I'm thinking I might create a add-on that basically adds in a special rune that integrates with thick mobs stuff, but would have a configuration file where you could define if they use this block and this spot on the rune, it'll summon this monster. So how would you fetch a list of...
You can do that in the rune function. You can actually specifically do a manual check around that. The pattern can just pretty much, do a raw pattern or whatever, but you can do individual checks within the rune function as well if you need to.
Okay.
So
It's like this. Oh, sorry, hit the wrong key. It's like this right here. My push to talk or my push to mute is right next to the tilde. Right here we've got a Genesis block.
Okay.
What is a Genesis block? What does that
So
mean to you?
You just use a variable for it, and then you define the variable elsewhere.
Exactly. When we do our pattern matcher,
Okay.
we see, oh, is this supposed to be a Genesis block? Then check what block is at this position. Is it a quote unquote Genesis block? If it is, iron or clay or endstone or netherrack, then it's okay. It's a Genesis block. Or this might have been the... What was Genesis block? Was it that?
So you
or
just
was
fetch it
the-
from the config, have it dump it to array, and use the array to determine which one they're using, basically.
Husky, if you want to go, you can. I'm recording all of this, so it doesn't if you need to go, you can go. I'll be posting the video, quote unquote video later.
No, I mean, if it's gonna be done in like 3 minutes, I can say. But like, I wanna go over there.
Well, we're gonna be doing a after meeting thing with like other people to discuss like the future of everything. So that's gonna take a little while as well. But if you need to go, you can.
Okay.
Also,
I'll join you guys when I can.
okay. Also, this is the old rune registry. Enjoy.
Yeah, that'll probably take me hours to read through. Okay, I'll see you guys.
See ya.
This is a little bit of a mess, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good God.
It wasn't
That's
too
a lot
far.
of it.
2015.
It wasn't too far removed from that at the beginning when I came on the project. We've actually did a bit of updates to that, and it's gotten really cleaned up. At least the part at the beginning. But yeah.
You should have seen
I'm
it
sorry to
when
say.
I joined the project. It was
Yeah, I don't even want to imagine what it was like then.
Oh, yeah. It was terrible.
That
After,
old-
the patterns
Old
for the
registry
functionizer.
makes me want to actually kill myself.
Actually, wait, setup should have the
Oh,
old
that's-
version of it.
That's not even the worst of it. You should see
No,
Runecraft
yeah.
under Cursor Main.
How big is that file?
dear
now? I
God.
posted this schematic, or the
let
So
me
you
pull
can
it up.
hear when people go look at it because you can just immediately hear them just go, "Oh my gosh!"
Here, I'll tell you guys at least the line of the number of lines for it.
This is a mess. Functional, but a mess.
Hold on, it's loading.
But again, like I said, in the old version,
Okay,
that's
now it's
where
done
the
loading.
bulk of the work is. That's where
4,757 lines.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Why is there a commented register rune? Oh, I see the difference. Never mind. There's the commented register rune Xerix chest, and then the arrays as list and everything. It looks identical to the one on the bottom, but I missed the fact there's a 2 after the end of the chest.
So here's where things were weird. Good question. Here's exactly what we're changing. In the past, we had 2 runes if we wanted them to be omnidirectional. Well, not omni necessarily, but if you wanted it to match in all cardinal directions, you needed 2 runes, or
Yeah.
4 if they're asymmetrical.
Like for instance,
Because you
True
can
Name.
just, you just flip it if it's not asymmetrical.
Yeah.
Right,
no,
it'll
sir.
match one way or the other.
Yeah,
But
look
here's
up
the
True
thing.
Name. If you control F True Name, you'll see what we're talking about.
I'm concerned.
So with the new way that the pattern matcher reads, we don't have to define multiple patterns. We can define one pattern. We can say it matches any cardinal direction.
Oh,
Then it
Jesus,
matches.
You forgot to pick up red. I did.
Yeah.
So basically, just auto gens any any possible matching structures.
Yeah.
Correct.
No, it does not automatically generate different structures. What it is it just checks in the different directions. It'll run.
That's what I'm saying. It basically does the
won't
same
do-
thing.
it
but
Yeah,
won't-
well, it doesn't
by
generate it.
rotating
It scans in the different
Yeah,
directions.
it doesn't
That's what
do
it is.
wall.
Okay.
So we actually had to code in the wall stuff, the wall variants separately. But if it's
Yeah.
once it's a wall,
That's
it's a wall.
worth doing separately because that would be a huge extra bit of complexity to that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no.
Which we all very firmly put our foot down in the beginning, because I don't think any of us right. Well, is Genesis on its side? Is it upside down? Is it facing north? Is it facing... We all just kind of had a simultaneous where our heads exploded, even considering it, so we didn't do it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
That and it'd be better
There's a
for
certain level of
performance.
complexity you
Less,
don't need.
less checks having to happen too when you do it that way.
Right,
I mean, it's
exactly.
easy because you could just subclass from the other one and not really have to change much really. You can look at the teleporter stuff for example that.
Correct.
Right.
Teleporters, for instance, we did exactly that. Wall teleporters is pulling from teleporters. The only thing that's going to probably change with that
Basically,
is
you just extend it and change the pattern.
yeah,
Yeah,
extend,
that's
change
exactly-
the pattern
that's
as well
exactly
as change where the signature points are. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
After that, like it's just everything else is the same, so just keep it all the same. Just extend the previous class.
It's like, why bother changing it?
Exactly. So we are hoping in the future to go ahead and just, if somebody wants to create a new rune, boom, just create, like, the pattern itself can be asymmetrical, it could be symmetrical, it could be 30 shades of weird. As long as you have a pattern, like, it'll be able to see it from any direction except for like upside down, that sort of thing. Like they'd have to actually code that one in, but like north, south, east, west, like it
I
won't
mean,
matter.
even if it is upside down, if it can be mirrored,
Mhm.
if it's mirrored, it should work.
So
Fair enough.
Where
What are the functions?
Looks like that wouldn't be that hard to add though. Incidentally, you just check in the opposite direction of the layers.
So, but like, let me pull up teleporter. Where's teleportation? There we go.
Hey, is there a way to like say right click on a line of code in here and then see who coded it?
Yes, over on the side, you'll see right click on the side next to the code. After the project file structure, right click on that little block of whatever. you can show line numbers there if you'd like, but you can also hit annotate. If you hit annotate, it'll create the annotation file for,
Oh, I see.
yeah, it'll give date, everything along those lines.
You figure that way you can kind of see what you're looking at and figure out why things are working the way they are.
Correct. You can see who last changed it and all that sort of stuff, which a lot of things for 4.0 were created by Level 80 and Cosine. I did most of the patterns, but a lot of the stuff has been done by those two.
Okay.
They are the best people ever. Trust me on that.
Is there anything I can help with that isn't horrifically complicated while I still trying to get used to the Java syntax again?
So here's
Yeah.
what we're gonna do. I'm going to give out assignments using GitLab. We have an issues board, and I can
Just like you get a ticket and you get a ticket, everybody gets a ticket.
exactly.
much.
So we've got all of the runes right now for V1, which is from our Trello, available. So like I've got Levitation Obelisk and Glow Stick assigned to myself. Cosine has the teleporter stuff and waypoints assigned to himself. Now, I'm going to divvy out assignments and say basically like, Quartz, you're on Magic Cake. Make that work. I don't care how you do it. Follow our syntax. There you go. I want to see it done by tomorrow at midnight or, something like that.
Okay.
Really,
Do we-
there's no hard deadlines. But
Do we have
I'll be
a-
assigning these out and saying, I want you to do this. I'm going to try to set the simple ones first until I get a better feel of what you guys are capable of. Here's where it's kind of hard for me is I don't know your backgrounds. I don't know how much you know. I don't know how well you are at certain things. So I'm really in this first little bit just saying, throw the spaghetti at the wall, see what sticks. And as soon as I get a good feeling and say, okay, you know what? Quartz is awesome at doing the block manipulation stuff. So I'm going to set him in charge of Faith in the future. And you're going to get Reality Master and stuff like that. Okay, Blackjack, you've been awesome about updating NPCs and player information and the like. I'm going to put you on Recall and, different things like that. So
Okay.
as I get a better feel of how you guys are doing and what you're good at, I'm going to use your strengths to our advantage. I know that sounds really selfish, but I'm not going to throw you to the wolves and say, hey, you know what? I know you don't know anything about advanced trigonometry. You're in charge of this now. I want you to do what you're comfortable with and what you know.
Okay.
And the major thing that we'd like to actually state is that, a lot of the runes have been separated out with V1, V2.
Mhm.
As technically they are easier runes. V1 is going to be easier than V2.
Hmm.
This month, actually, for some reason.
Oh, it's like a bounty board then.
Kinda. So, V1 is. Let me pull up V1. V1 is Compass, Glow Stick, Inheritance, Initiation, Immersion, Levitation Obelisk, Magic Cake, Magma Gel, Master Teleporter, Personal Teleporter, Surface Tension, Teleporter, Wall Waypoint, and Waypoint. A lot of them are kind of overlapping with Wall Waypoint and Waypoint.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't even know you could do wall waypoints. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, you can.
Gonna abuse that later.
But the
And if
idea,
they overlap, I try to put them as the same person.
Yeah.
So Cosine I have on Wall Waypoint, Wall Teleport, but Master Teleporter and Personal Teleporter haven't been assigned. I'll probably slap him on those.
Yeah, think I've done some Master Teleporter work just because it was there and in the way.
correct, you have.
Then you see, it's just like that. I don't try to split it up and make it the biggest mess that we can. I don't want someone to do half of the rune, the other person to do the other half, and these aren't really working together. No, if you started it, I'm gonna let you finish it.
Sounds like an
Because
easy way
I
to
want
kill
you-
efficiency, sanity, and time.
Pretty
Exactly. I want you to be comfortable in what you're doing. So if I like this one. I probably forgot to assign him to it because of everyone else that was in and out. Everything that was going on, I probably forgot about it. Totally my fault. But things like that. So if I give you, say, magma gel, then I might give you surface tension, but since it's such a simple concept, I might just put that to somebody else. That way, two people can get the same kind of feeling of how to do the block manipulation, etc., etc. This whole thing is learning experience. It's helping out, contributing to a team. I mean, it's a multi-group thing. It's not like we're just here to, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll be helping out as well. Like, if you guys have a question or anything, ask. We'll help give you the answer if needed. Like, we will try to make sure that you guys understand what's going on and how to actually do the stuff. I'm one of the things that I'm doing currently, for instance, is I'm creating all of the messages that need to be done for the rooms. So, like, initiation,
Yeah.
of which initiation is changing slightly. Something that we talked about, I think it might be in this chat, it might not be. We're looking at making initiation the way to increase the energy cap. We're going to be placing an energy cap on the players. Default, the max is 5 million, I believe we said.
You have no idea how funny this is to me.
Right?
I was literally thinking this exact thought yesterday. Like, what if initiation had more tiers that you could use
Yeah, so
to increase a
initiation-
Oh yeah, we've been over a lot.
Oh
of stuff.
yeah. Oh yeah. So initiation.
I was just thinking about that yesterday.
So initiation will have a tiered system. So you will be able to, go up. So you won't be able to skip, however. So you don't. So for instance, you can already manipulate the Aether. If you are at tier 7, you can fully manipulate it. You already are a master of this tier. If the tier is the same, you're already a master of it. You can't go any higher. And these are all error messages. Or you don't understand the Aether this much. If the tier is greater than 1 higher than your current.
Okay.
Then, for instance, there's the success messages. There's the species of this world are already natural masters of the magic arts. So everybody's automatically at the tier 7 cap. And this means that initiation is disabled. The Aether welcomes you as an initiate. That is tier 1. Now, we can do messages in between tier 1 and tier 7, but we only came up with tier 1 and tier 7. Which is basically, tier 7 is the Aether welcomes you as its master. You have basically mastered, like the idea is initiation, you have now mastered everything there is to know about Runecraft.
It's like leveling up in an RPG, more or less.
Exactly. And the final one is you now have get tier cap number as your energy capacity. Basically, because we're going to be doing the configuration update with this and everything, server owners will be allowed to change the cap for that. So we're going to have to get the config for it and say, okay, these are the energy caps. Get the cap for their tier. So that's just initiation. Like, there's a lot more messages now than there was in the previous version.
Oh, I remember the original version had maybe 3? Maybe?
2, 3, yeah.
I also see another little thing added in with the energy. It's called corruption.
Yes, corruption system.
Yes.
So corruption. So that's actually something we're going to talk about when we do the after meeting with people, with just the general people able to join and ask questions and that sort of thing. That way, everybody's kind of on board.
Good.
The short rundown for you guys. We have the Aether, right? We have the Void. This was posted a while back that we were discussing kind of the difference for runes, what would fit into which category, what people feel, etc. Stuff like this. the main thing is, we kind of look at it that the Ether is there to protect us. They're entities. They're existences. We get energy from the Ether. We give energy to the Ether. This is a whole kind of system that we're putting together and mixing. What corruption
symbiotic
basically
relationship.
is how much you lean towards one side or the other. So, for instance, Riv could be 100% on the other side. Every time he teleports, he gets a nice little pat on the bum. He says, good job, and he's protected the whole way. I, on the other hand, really don't like you people, so I go to the Void side as much as possible. I'm just trying to destroy everything I can.
Which the Void is anything to do with weapon runes. Because weapon, shield is more of an armor rune, while siege bow is a weapon rune. Both
Okay.
translocation is kind of that neutral area.
So it's more or less than basically offensive versus defensive.
Correct. With if you activate more, offensive runes like curses and all that sort of stuff, which we will be implementing curses back in.
Yay.
If you are curses are going to be more towards the void. If you are more towards the void, level 80.
So I'm more towards the Void. I decide to use a teleport. Well, what's to guarantee that I make it where I'm trying to go, right? We know that a waypoint is there. We have a waypoint to, quote unquote, show us our way to where we're going. Well, not so much. This is the traditional way. This is before the Void became more powerful. Okay, really, this is before 4.0 because we didn't think of it sooner. Shut up, I don't care what you're saying. Now,
90% of my server right there.
I'm more towards the Void. I go to a teleporter. I right-click. I teleport. I'm 30,000 blocks from where I'm supposed to be in the middle of nowhere. This wasn't where my waypoint was. How did I end up here? Well, the Void, or the Other, did not protect me from going somewhere else. The tunnel wasn't open properly, whatever. Okay, I end up at my waypoint, but half my health is gone. I have no stamina. My food's gone. Whatever.
got
An
sponged.
item was stolen from me. What happened? Well, the Ether was not there to protect me like it always has, because I decided I wanted to lean more towards the Void. This is what your corruption system basically is. It's going to play into a lot of runes.
No,
Essentially, you'll gain corruption, you'll lose corruption from different types of runes from different sides, and different runes will have different effects. Like I said, in teleporting, I may lose an item. I may not. It's gonna be on a percentage, but this is kind of how corruption's playing into every aspect of RuneCraft.
no. The main thing here is that there are going to be pros and cons to both sides. We're not going to make it strictly the void is bad, stay away from the void as much as possible. We're going to make it as balanced as we can towards either side. The void, you have access to siege bow, that sort of thing, very much pro stuff, curses. While the Aether side, you're more defensive. You have access to the wards and all that sort of stuff. We're going to see if we can try to play it as best as we can as even Stevens. There are going to be pros and cons to both.
Keep them balanced.
Exactly.
The other big thing is
Because
when fighting certain entities. This may be in Ether entity, maybe it may be in the middle. You know what we have the different structures. Whatever it is that you're fighting, if you lean towards the Other and you're fighting void powered, you may lose, whereas normally you wouldn't. Or if you're more on the other side, you're fighting something that's Ether powered, you may lose even more because you're fighting, you know what I mean? We're still kind of balancing the structure on what is going to be the, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this.
Aether will have more of an advantage against void creatures. While void creatures, if you're more towards void, you'll have more benefits against Aether creatures. Basically because you are so adept at fighting the other side. But you're not adept at fighting your own side.
That sounds kind of like the dragon type Pokemon, where they're weak to themselves but strong against other dragon types.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, we're going to try to make it as best as we can, but that's essentially the corruption system. We'll save the rest kind of for later. Do you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns as it currently?
I had one briefly, but I don't know what it was.
Actually, I was one of the main things I wanted to do in this was make a big system that actually involved like tiered runes with Void and Aether. But it seems you guys were ahead of me. What a
Yes.
shame.
We are like 30 steps ahead. I'm sorry.
We spent a lot of time going over stuff. We've had a couple of good powwows in the past that's been about this long. We've been going over stuff. So yeah, we've
Yeah, we
thought of some things. Yeah.
yeah. Cosine has like 1,000 notes. It's fine.
Oh,
One
I
of
know
my
it was.
files got blacked out by a disk error though. It made me sad.
Ugh.
Dude, that's always fun.
So do you guys have any questions about how the code works? Pushing, pulling, changing anything? I mean, you guys are going to have a few issues more or less when you guys get into more stuff, but you guys are able to just kind of play around in the setup. You guys can do pretty much anything that you want. You guys can make it the best thing ever. You guys can make it the worst thing ever. You know, just try to figure out what you guys want to do with the setup.
Okay.
Break it, make it better, everything. Like, just
and on
utterly
that
destroy
note,
it.
I actually have a little bit of that little beginner issue that for when you guys want to like tackle something with block manipulation and stuff, and if you wanted to get your feet wet and wanted to like work on something, I got something I could work through with you alongside you. I don't know when I could be ready for it, but if any of you guys would be up for that, give me some times and I could probably work through with you. It's going to be enhancing the aspect of where safe teleportation coming out of one on a horizontal one puts you. So it's basically going to be a little bit of something along those lines. It's not going to be too difficult, and I can run you through it. It's when I want something to practice as a starter issue to get their feet wet with the code.
No, I'd be down with it.
Okay.
All right.
So, if you guys don't have any current questions or comments or concerns, which Myth Moth, I saw you typing. I mean, I saw you type, so please type. Ask your questions. If you guys don't have any questions or anything, I'm going to open up the chat so that way people can join. I'll be posting a little message.
Okay.
Oh. Come on, go ahead and say it, Miss Moth. Then I'll go ahead and I'll post a message and everything saying, hey. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I get it now. I get it now.
But
Do you
on the
get
topic
it now?
I
of
get it now.
these
Right. I do have one
branches
question.
and things like that, let's
Mhm.
try to keep new branches. So if you're doing something new or want to change a system, please just make a new branch. If it gets merged into the working copy, fine, I don't care. But please, let's keep them as separate as possible for each different kind of idea that we're working on. For a while, Cosine and I were doing for each room. So, like, we had the initiation branch, then we had a teleporter branch, and different things like that. I think we can kind of consolidate that a bit now, as we've made a little bit more progress on how much actual available is there when we do it.
Yeah, there were some
So
changes
say-
that did need to go through and did need to, like, because I had a separate branch or something. There were a few things that did need to get consolidated again. But yeah, I think in general, a branch for something like that is a good idea. Different rooms and
Right. So a big, like I'm gonna have the energy branch for all
Yeah.
of the energy changes that we'll be doing. If you have a timer branch, like we've got to set up a timer for timed rune tasks. This thing is supposed to happen every 5 minutes. Create a new branch for it. Or even it's like, hey, this is my branch for all of the runes that I'm adding. Go for it. I really don't care. More branches, the better, because then we can better understand what different changes are being done and not risk messing up the working copy as much. But again, this is Git. Use it to your ability, use it to your strengths, use it to whatever you're comfortable with. If you want to do it all in one branch, go ahead. But if it's a significant enough change, please just make a new one. That's all I'm asking.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'll open up the chat, so that way people can connect. I'll post a message, as well as I'm going to place you guys here.
So I do have a quick question.
Yes.
Go for it.
So it did say we were going to be talking about our various strengths, right?
Yes.
So what are you guys all good at?
What are we good at? I'm good at being useless.
I've done a bit of work. I'm semi-new to Java, but I've done a chunk of things across the board. So
Yeah, I noticed that much.
So
yeah.
so yeah. As stated previously, currently
Low-level manipulation and stuff, I guess.
currently stating Level 80 and Cosine have been the two major ones creating most of the code. I've been the one that's kind of been the PR director more than anything
At the
else.
same time, Riv is the project manager. He's in charge of this entire gig. He's the boss
He's
man.
the boss.
He's the one that I
CEO.
go to when I've got a problem because I'm too incompetent to handle myself as a functioning human. He's Mr. Big Hat in charge. If there's anything that I ever say that overdoes what he says, you don't listen to me. You listen to him. This is his show.
And see, the lady's a senior dev, so like I go to him instead of Rip because it's like you got your chain of command, you got to respect.
Pretty much. Go
But
go to any one of us realistically. You can
Right,
message
yeah.
any one of us. If I don't know, I go to level 80. If level 80
use
doesn't,
use that annotate feature though, because if you see like somebody's done a bunch of work on that code there, it'd be good to ask them who's
Yes.
done the work on that area.
it's the best to talk to the person who actually created that piece of code.
Yeah.
I currently have only done the patterns, but I'm working on. I'm with you guys. Like I don't have very much experience with Java. I'm developing as you guys are. But these two have a lot more experience with that. I'm still learning, but because I've been around quite a bit longer in terms of the I've played around with RuneCraft for a long time.
He's got the best sense of direction on the project.
Yeah, I want to see the project flourish as best as we can, which is why, for instance, the Forge version, we're going to not do any we'll add a little bit more particle effects, that sort of thing, cool stuff like that, but we're not going to be adding new blocks, new runes, new items. We're going to try to
Basically,
make
the
sure.
assets list will stay pretty much the same.
Yeah. Basically, we want to keep this as vanilla as possible, but we're going to add in, hopefully, if somebody has Thaumcraft, either we're going to create an add-on, a separate jar file, or we're going to institute a thing in our main thing that says, hey, if they have Thaumcraft, do this.
Basically, just a whole bunch of integration work.
Yeah, basically that's what we're going to try to do.
Dude, cool.
But mostly we want to keep this as vanilla as possible. We don't want
Yeah, I
to
just
have.
imagine the possibility is
that.
combining this and, say, Industrial Craft.
Yes, Miss Moth is actually really great with that stuff.
See, I'm already thinking of all the ways this is going to be real darn quick.
So you're asking about people's backgrounds and stuff. I gather you've done some work, stuff like this before. What's your background?
Mine?
Yeah.
Like I said, lots of cyber warfare with my parents, so I've got decent hacking skills. I haven't done a lot of actual coding per se, but I've done a ton of troubleshooting.
Yeah, I mean, you seem familiar with stuff up to this point. What about you, Quartz?
Oh, my background's a bit more weird. I mainly specialize in neural networks and artificial intelligence, actually.
Oh wow.
You'll be
Dude,
very
that's so
useful,
much
actually.
cooler than I do.
Because of what Cosine, Lovelady, and I want to do, we want to actually create a whole dimension dedicated to the Aether and the Void. What this basically will mean is that you will be able to fight bosses, runic bosses. So having somebody who is able to write the AI for that, that'll be kind of nice. I believe Miss Moth is also a specialist in AI.
Well, I've done most concepts from normal neural networks up to recurrent neural network. So I've already got that.
I
And
might
I've
have
already
you
done
teach me some of that.
Another thing, I
I've done-
don't know if we can do it with buckets, but I know we can in Forge. We do
You can
plan,
Forge.
Miss Moth, you'll be a specialist for this. We do plan on instituting like our own audio stuff. Like we're going to try to make this literally as immersive as possible. You know, we're going to try to make it so that way Runecraft and Minecraft basically merge together. Like you will be able to not see the lines very well. Kind of. Like a plugin, yes. But
Make it feel like an expansion for Minecraft,
but yeah,
like a DLC.
exactly. You know, we
Like where you
want
can kind of tell this isn't vanilla, but at the same time it's seamless enough you can't tell where Minecraft starts.
yeah.
Story mode actually useful.
Right, story mode, but actually
Yeah, it's actually worth getting.
so we
And it's
want to
free.
try to make this as immersive as possible. Okay. So are we all good? Is there any other
Yep.
questions or anything?
What
There's
I
one
was
thing
just
I'm good
gonna
at,
say-
which is editing, which isn't super helpful. But if you want help with the messages, I can help.
Okay. Level lady?
Well, we'll all find each other's strengths, and like I said, we'll put you where you're best at. If you guys have any questions, please ask. I've been in software for coming up on 15 years now. I've been working it professionally for about 12. I've been in about every sector. I mean, I know more languages than I think I have fingers and toes at this point. I teach on the university. I tutor personally. I have a lot of experience and background with all sorts of things in computers. I was even in networking and stuff for quite a while. If you have a question, please ask. I don't know that I can always answer it, and I might not be able to teach you anything, but like I said, I've been doing it a while. I should be able to help you. I'm hoping that I can. And if you just even like, hey, you know what? I don't know C#. Can you teach me a little of the nuances of C#? Yeah, sure, let's talk about it. Way back in...
I might need to ask you about C# sometime.
Back in the old days, before Bucket was a thing, I wrote my own server interface. It was basically at about the same time as HMod. I abandoned my project when HMod and Bucket were starting to get big because I thought, you know what, I'll just use somebody else's. There's no sense writing my own when another one's already out there.
Yeah.
I've been writing my own language and compilers for years. I've actually wrote a C compiler in C in about a weekend just for fun. But like I said, all aspects from all levels of programming, I've been there. So if you need help, I would be more than happy to help you out. If I can. If not, I might just ramble and BS you until you decide to go to Stack Overflow, and that might be a better answer. I don't know.
Or he'll go to Stack Overflow himself.
I'll go to Stack
Actually,
Overflow.
90% of programming is
I
Google.
totally know what's going on. Yeah. Okay. If you try this command right here, that I'm totally not looking at. Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much. So I'm going to open up the chat unless anybody has any other questions.
I think pretty much sums it up.
Okay.
At least for me, anyway.
I'm good.
And I will do that. That's
Hmm.
that member. At staff of other members.
Are we going to be covering anything I need to be around for this?
Basically
We're
just
talking about
future of Runecraft stuff. Which
Because
Gonna
normally
get
I'd love
all
to stick
recorded,
around, but
so
my parents are waiting for me to go drive over there.
It's all good. You gotta go. You gotta go.
Okay, yeah. I'll be going. Man. But hey, thanks for helping me get set up and everything.
yeah.
Anytime. Thanks for coming.
No, thanks for teaching me. Because I know that it's super not fun to troubleshoot somebody over voice chat.
You know what? We've all been there. We've all had to do different setup things. It's like, who cares? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Well, it's just good getting to talk to all you guys. In any case.
All right. I'll see you guys
I'm
later.
thinking an hour. How's that sound, level later?
I don't know that we'll go that long, but yeah, that works.
Yeah, I'll probably have to dip in this one, but I want to at least see what it's like at first. I got
Oh, you're,
work early.
I'll do half an hour or so. So we'll
that
see.
works.
No, you don't need to cut it short on account of me.
No. But basically, just
Okay.
not sure. I'm going to stop my recording first, and then I'll post that and start another one.